Hello and welcome back to Drama After Dark, WGBH's live drama after show, where this week we are talking about Poldark, Season 5, Episode 6. I am your host, Jackie Bruley, joined as always by co-host Andrea Willannon. And this week we have a very special guest, Cristina Quinn.
Woo!
She's here!
Happy to be here.
And she's got an amazing hat.
It's tricorner.
Nothing could be better than this.
No, you can't, everyone looks good in a tricorner hat.
Yeah. It's true.
I mean, it's a universally flattering.
It is. It is universally flattering. You're right. You're right. So we're going to start out this week with Jackie doing the timed recap. I hope you're ready, Jackie.
I'm somewhat ready. I'm not gonna lie to you folks. I have not yet gotten in the time, so
We'll see what happens.
See what happens.
And Cristina, if you could hold this by Jackie's face.
Okay. A lot of pressure here, Jackie.
Yeah.
And I'll take this for you.
Reins of pressure. Ready?
Yep. Ned's in jail and is apparently only avoiding torture because Kitty is good at bribery. His trial does not go to plan. The opposition paints him as a dangerous traitor and with the help of paid liars. And Ross's frankly gorgeous speech on Ned's behalf isn't enough to sway the jury. The sentence? Hanged, drawn, and quartered. Back in Cornwall, Demelza and Zachy try to figure out who's been stealing ore, and Cecily and Jeffrey Charles's attempt to run off together is foiled, but they still avoid her marrying George in one of the cattiest interactions since Aunt Agatha. Ross and Dwight try to break Ned out of prison, but he decides to stay behind and die because he's metal AF. Ross goes back to Cornwall only to be conked on the head and dumped down a well.
Oh,
by the skin of your teeth.
Much closer than previous attempts, Jackie. I will give it A minus.
Ooh.
I also want to give
I'll
you
take it.
an A, just in general, for the Agatha reference.
Nice. I love Aunt Agatha.
Call back to Aggie.
She's one of my favorites, and actually one of the best things that is happening for us in this office is that she is the character of the month on our Poldark calendar. So it's now November, and we get
didn't
Agatha back.
notice.
That's
Yeah, I
awesome.
checked last week. I was really excited about
We
it.
gotta
miss her.
We gotta flip it over. Yeah.
I miss her.
too.
I know. She was
was so
great
much
till the
fun.
bitter end.
Better end. She had such great one-liners.
She did.
I'm upstart. You know?
Someone got their authority.
Yeah. She was like an old-timey pirate who had settled down into wealth. It was kind of admirable.
Yeah.
One thing I noticed, Jackie, is you didn't mention my personal favorite moment from this week, which is Valentine. I think it's more of a favorite moment that happened this week but has been happening, is Valentine is becoming very sassy as he ages. And I'm into that. You know I love a good sassy child.
It's true.
And Valentine being like, no, I want Uncle Ross's friend to win.
Right.
And then being like, Uncle Ross. And he's like, yes, you heard me. You
I
heard
love
what I
Ross.
said.
He's my friend.
Yeah.
And then also how he peels the wallpaper. Do you notice that
Yes.
part? Where he's
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
how you like peel the wallpaper?
Yeah. He's always in the background being like, no,
Yeah.
I'm going to do what I want. Nobody's paying attention, so I guess I'll run in the woods now.
It's like classic. He honestly acts like, and I can say this because I am an only child, but the stereotypical classic only child where he's just like able to get away with everything that his little heart desires.
Either that or a cat is my comparison, where you see him in the background and George is like, don't knock that off the shelf, and Valentine just goes, and gets away with it. And George is just like, oh, fine.
Hey, where's the baby sister though?
We were just saying this before. We have no idea. She kind of has disappeared.
She has
It's like they
disappeared.
wrote her off the show.
It's like she's too little to
Engage into.
Yeah.
It's interesting,
Oh,
though.
Ursula. We hardly knew you.
Ursula. that's the thing. I forgot her name.
I know.
Bring her back.
I know. Once George's insanity and fixation on the nanny went away, the nanny and Ursula both went away.
So true.
Interesting.
It is interesting.
We'll see what happens in the coming weeks.
Now, speaking of stuff that like barely worked out, can we talk a little bit about that prison escape attempt?
Oh my gosh.
Because my favorite moment of the episode might have been Dwight's like very reluctant agreeing to help with this. The you're insane.
Yeah.
It's a classic moment.
Yeah. Him being like, okay, that's nice, Ross. Have a great day. Yeah. See you later.
Take care. And then
I'm out.
Caroline weirdly being like, no, Dwight, you are going to help with this illegal plan.
Yeah.
Yes, she's full of surprises, which I really enjoy though. I
Yeah.
like her because she rarely disappoints. Right?
Yeah.
I feel like she rarely disappoints.
I feel like she almost always takes, you're like, oh, Caroline will be so,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
she always goes against type, and I think that's great, and that's really speaking to her character. Last week was our big Caroline love fest on the show. Like, Caroline's amazing. And I think it's true. She's one of those people who will always come through, and she'll always come out on like the right side of morality in a way you never quite expect.
And with really great outfits.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
Right?
And
consistently.
hair.
And hair.
Yeah.
Yes. She can do it all.
Yeah.
Yeah. To Caroline.
To Caroline. Yes. Speaking of women who can totally do it all,
Oh,
one of our best
yes.
moments today,
Yes.
definitely Cecily dropping the I hooked up with Jeffrey Charles bomb in the church.
Yes.
And just wrecking George's
Yeah.
day.
Yes.
The best part for
So
me
satisfying.
was, yes, it was satisfying, but it came out of nowhere for me. Like, you knew they were going to figure something out,
Yeah.
but you knew because he had literally just said it before the people
Right.
got them in the carriage. He's like, no, we shall hold ourselves pristine until we are wed.
Right.
And Cecily was like, okay. And then they get to the church and she's like, what can I do? What can I do? I know.
Yeah. I was actually expecting Jeffrey Charles to stand up when they said, if there's anyone here.
Yes.
You know.
He's like, I object.
Yes. And
Yeah.
he just sat there and I was like, what? Why wouldn't he say? But then that's what, I was totally surprised when she's like, I slept with him. And I was like, oh, what? Because
Yeah.
I really, that was good storytelling there.
It was.
Yeah.
And I think after last week, we were talking with Meredith Goldstein on the show, and she had said she wants Cecily to take charge of her future more.
Yes.
And this was, I think, a moment that very much satisfied that, of being like, wait, this little buddy has not really helped me. Things have gone awry. I have to take care of myself.
Right.
And I think that was a really satisfying moment, as you put it.
Yes. Very satisfying. But I am a little worried about what's
How
next.
Yeah,
for
exactly.
Dad.
Because basically they're going to have to wait like 12 months.
Yeah.
Because I don't know that they have a concept of.
Oh, yeah. Probably not. No.
Yeah.
Time does pass oddly in Cornwall and
It
London.
does. It does.
that
I would
time.
not like to get pregnant there because who knows how long it'll be.
Oh, God.
18 months later.
Yeah. Oh, baby.
Now, speaking of our favorite moments, we want to hear what your favorite moments are, Internet land. You can put them on YouTube, you can put them on Twitter, you can put them on Facebook. We will find them. And just to show you how serious we are, I'm going to pull up some of our favorites that our social producer has been sending our way. So let's see what we got here. Okay, this is a great one. Hashtag Poldark is what happens when a Gryffindor is allowed to run everything. Hashtag Ross no. Yeah, that's a big move.
Agree.
Oh, another favorite moment that I think we had a similar reaction to on the Drama After Dark team. At Kathy B733 says, Demelza is like every mom trying to rush her children out the door for school. That scene when Zachy Martin shows up
Yeah.
and
Yes.
she's like hustling them around.
Yes.
Very relatable.
Flowence, where are your shoes? Which is just so mom mood.
And another tweet that totally echoes something that we were just saying, at Buckeye Girl 25 says, anyone wonder about Ursula, George and Elizabeth's daughter, and how
Yes.
she is? We never see her.
Yeah, we never see her.
We never see
And she's
her.
probably 3 by now, given how time passes
Yeah.
so strangely there, right? Yeah.
Absolutely factual.
She's somehow 18, even though Valentine's 5.
Oh my God.
They
yeah.
married her off. That's what
Right.
happened.
Sure. Well, so these are some great tweets. Please keep sending them our way. We would love to see more. You can put that on Facebook. Oh, we have a Facebook comment right here. At Joan Buck says, pretty sure Jeffrey Charles is going to be much more intrigued by Cecily now.
Hey.
Joan, I agree. I think you're right.
All right, Joan.
That's a good hot take.
Yeah. So keep sending those in. And we are actually going to move on to our next segment, which is to interview our lovely guest.
What?
You!
Shockingly, I know.
Crazy. So, Cristina, tell us a little bit about what you do in this world.
Sure. Well, I'm a reporter for WGBH News, and primarily for TVs, for the TV program Greater Boston, but also for radio, which you can hear on Morning Edition and All Things Considered. So yeah, I'm a reporter.
Nice.
That's what I do.
What kind of stories do you like to report on the most?
Well, I do a lot of public health, science, tech, but I also just cover, I feel like I've covered it all. That sounds kind of obnoxious, but I'll cover it all. I'll cover anything. But yeah, I mean, I think more science-oriented stuff, but lately more public health stories, and yeah.
Interesting. And how long have you been at WGBH?
Well, let's see here. Let's sit a spell here. I started as an intern in 2009.
Oh, wow.
Yes.
Wow.
So I was an intern in 2009, and then I was weekend edition host, and then sort of kept my foot in the door, and midday host for radio, and long story short, here I am. Yes. And here I've been in various iterations.
Awesome.
Fair enough.
What's your favorite part about the work that you do?
Well, I'm always humbled whenever somebody has a personal story to share with me and allows me to help them tell that story. And I think that that can be really gratifying. I also love that I really don't know what I'm going to be doing next sometimes. You know, I go down these rabbit holes of research and then I'm like, that's a great story. Or let's, you know, or I'll just have a conversation with somebody and, you know, a story will blossom out of that. And that's really cool. So that's really what I love about journalism.
Yeah.
My work here. Yeah.
We're really lucky too, because when we're not hosting Drama After Dark,
Yes.
we write for the website a lot, and that allows us to sort of carve our path in interesting ways. And we've learned a lot about, you know, British court and costuming, and you get to research things, which is really cool.
Yeah, definitely.
Awesome. What is speaking of drama though, and the iterations thereof, what is your favorite part of Poldark?
In general, or tonight's episode?
In general.
Oh boy.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, aside from the tri-cornered hats,
Sure. As Exhibit A.
as exhibited, oh my goodness, that's a loaded question. I mean, I think I just love the fact that there is, from the beginning, I was hooked because, well, first of all, Aidan Turner is incredibly dreamy, but also there was a strong sense of social justice, that theme. We know that from season 1, and I was like completely hooked because I felt so much of it resonated with what's happening around the world today, and how, at the same time, so little has changed, but yet there has always been hope. So I love that. I do love I feel like the drama is sustainable because the acting is so strong. You know, they're such good actors, and they can really manage and sustain that level of drama where I think other actors may or may not be able to handle it, because sometimes it's a bit much.
Oh yeah.
It's a bit much.
A lot happening at
Yes.
all times.
Like Ross makes so many bad decisions, and yet I remain committed to his character, you know?
I think it's because he wants to do well and he means well.
Yeah.
But it was the same for me with when you start watching, you're just like, oh, this dude gets the issue and wants to fix the issue.
Yes.
Even though he's making a lot of dumb mistakes along the way.
Right. His heart's always in the right place.
It is, and he's trying to do things that are noble.
Right.
I think that's part of it, is he's very noble in his pursuit, even
is.
though sometimes he goes about it the wrong way.
I know.
He's
He
just
does.
trying his best.
He is trying his best in the way that he knows how.
Yes,
Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah.
Now, speaking of trying his best, we're going to go into our next segment here, which is the hot take debate.
Yes.
So tonight's debate topic is going to be, imagine you're Dwight.
Yes.
We've just found out that Ned is going to be executed in a horrifying way.
Yep.
Do you help Ross break him out of jail, or do you just sort of say, that's it, you did your thing, good luck to you, Ned, toodaloo?
Right. That's a good question. Okay. Well, yeah. I mean, Ned he's been problematic at times.
At times.
Understatement.
A bit of a loose cannon. I think that, however, though, because Dwight is so deeply principled and is such a good friend, he's always just like the best friend, right? He's just like such a good doobie. I feel like that I too would go and help Ned escape. I just feel like that's you know, like Ross is committed, I'm committed to Ross, you know, we are friends, we've been through so much, you know, he went through a lot with Ned as well, and he knows that Ned's also a good guy, so yeah, I would go do it. I mean, as crazy as it feels and is, yeah. Yeah.
I think I'm with you. But
I am the opposite opinion of y'all.
Ooh, tension.
Yes, I would not go in any way, shape, or form. All right.
Andrea's ready to let us die in prison, Christina.
Yeah.
All right.
No.
Duly noted.
I wouldn't let you guys die in prison, but I feel like Dwight is not as committed to Ned in any way as Ross is.
Right.
I feel like
Fair.
it's very much a, you know, if your friend jumped off the bridge, would you jump off the bridge too? And it's like, yeah, your best friend is Ross. He's making a probably very bad decision if y'all get caught. And
Right.
Ned has sort of been stealing Dwight's thunder this whole time.
That's true.
Ned's also pretty much always getting them into trouble. He's not a great friend to have around. I don't think he's even a good friend to Ross, as we saw. I think it was last episode where we saw him like punch Ross in the head because he was like, I don't want to leave the bar. And it's like,
He did punch Ross. That was crazy.
Yeah. I think it was technically an elbow in the head, but
His only argument was
bloody
just
nose.
like, you know how I get.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Like,
not
oh,
okay.
okay, that's unacceptable. So I think Ned is a bad friend. I think Ross is better without him, and I think Dwight's moral move would be to not do it. It protects him and Caroline. It protects Ross in the long run. And then, granted, you know, he doesn't know this, but even Ned is like, this seems crazy.
Right. No, that's true.
What's going to happen once we break me out of jail? Where are we going to put me?
It's funny though. Ned was finally the voice of reason. Like
I
finally,
know.
the
After
voice
all
of
these
reason.
episodes.
Yes.
Yeah.
I think my main concern if I were Dwight would be that if I didn't go help, Ross is just going to do it anyway and come up with an even more half-brained, like really bad plan.
Right.
Like the actual prison break plan that he's concocted is not that bad. Like it kind of makes sense, except for that, like, as Ned points out, of course we know who's going to break him out of jail. Like Dr. Ennis was there, and so was like an assistant with like a fun facial scar and the six-pack that won't quit.
Right.
Yeah.
Who could it be?
That's what happens when you break into a jail with your shirt open.
Yeah, come on, Ross. Cover it up.
I think he was also wearing his tricorner hat sideways.
Yeah.
Like, it was like, oh, they won't recognize me now.
Yeah.
That's what it was.
And he was doing like a finger mustache. He
Yes.
was like, I'm not Ross Poldark. I have a mustache.
It was not a good. It was not at all a good disguise.
No.
And I feel like it would have been so much worse if Dwight hadn't been there to be like, Ross, buddy, at least make a finger mustache.
Yeah, at least go like this.
Color some, color the finger too.
Yeah, so you look,
So it's black,
Yeah.
It's a black stash.
I'm fine.
So it matches your hair.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Well, I think we have to agree to disagree because either way, this was going to be a bad situation.
Yeah, it would not have
it gets
worked.
bad when there has to be a prison break.
Yeah, yeah.
I did like how one of the guards was like, Kitty? Because wasn't there an allusion or some reference in the beginning of the episode where Kitty's like, oh, they're all scared of me because I threaten them with curses?
Yes.
And I love how the guy's like, Kitty? And I was like, oh my goodness.
There it is.
He's doing this. Like,
Yeah. He's like, never mind, you go ahead.
You go ahead.
That's my biggest goal in life now, frankly, is to have everyone so afraid of me that they will just do whatever my friends
Jackie?
say.
Oh, here's more. Take more. Take more.
Currently,
Whatever it is.
I'm the only one with that reputation, but it's
It's
fine.
true, you got a big reputation.
You earned it.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank
We're
you.
very scared.
I know.
So, are you scared of Andrea? No, don't answer that. We're not. She's wonderful. But we do want to see what you have to say on social media. So I'm going to take a little perusal over here and see what we've got. We've got a great tweet coming in from our friend at Amanda R. Prescott, Kitty Despard.
Yes.
Hashtag Hoover Schools, who tweeted at us last week. And she says, hey, Cristina Quinn, I think your Poldark inspired cosplay is pretty neat.
Thanks, man.
And this is coming from the girl who has 5 different costumes.
Yes.
5 different Poldark costumes?
Oh my God.
We need
Amanda,
more
please
info,
tell
Kitty.
us more about this.
More info, please.
Yeah, hit us up because that is the best thing I've ever heard.
Yes.
We've got a couple other things here. This is a great tweet where Masterpiece earlier tonight tweeted out a GIF that they have made of sassy Dwight with the wine glass and it just says, you're insane. So that GIF does exist and I encourage you all to use it forever and ever in perpetuity.
I've always needed that GIF in my life.
Yes.
But at the Nerdy Girl Express says Dwight will always go along with Ross's schemes no matter how crazy or dangerous, which I think may be the
true.
answer to our hot take debate.
No. No. Dwight has a mind of his own.
Well,
Sorry.
he does, but he's so deeply committed to that friendship.
He is.
They are
but
BFF.
I guess.
Yeah.
But like also, love your handle. Don't love your hot take on that one. Nerdy Girl Express. We'll agree to disagree.
I love it. Well, keep coming at us with those thoughts. Like, we want to hear everything that we can from you. And we will look on Facebook, we'll look on Twitter, we'll look on YouTube. So come at us. And now we are going into one of our next segments, which we are calling No Thank You.
No, thank you.
No
Thank you. So tonight's No Thank You is a part where we are going to talk about something that we don't really love on the show tonight. And tonight's No Thank You is the budding relationship between Demelza's brother, who we call Cheekbones, whose real
Sam.
name is Sam,
Oh, he does have very high, prominent
He
cheekbones.
is.
Wonderful
Beautiful
cheekbones.
cheekbones.
Yeah.
and Shady Maid Tess.
Oh, Tess. Shakes
No,
fist.
thank you.
Ugh.
Rosina is sitting right there,
Yeah.
being adorable and delightful, and perpetually getting left at, if
Terrible
not at
luck.
the Arthur,
Arthur.
altar.
Shh. Watch Arthur.
She's just having a tough time.
Yeah.
I feel bad for her.
Yeah, also, I mean, he really didn't put up a fight when Tess came along. He's like, help me be pure. And then,
Yeah.
you know, she grabs his arm and he's just like, what do I do? And it's like, no, you tell her to like, get away from me, you crazy.
And I think we've seen this in the past. Jackie and I were talking about this when we were watching the episode, is Sam is a sucker for a girl who's like, I've just sinned so much.
Yes.
Please save me. I'm a lost
true.
lamb.
That is
and
so true.
Sam's like, oh my God, I have so many feelings. I don't know how to express them. I think we saw this in last season, or it was 2 seasons ago
it was 2
now.
seasons ago, yeah.
With Tom Harry and him fighting.
Oh, yes.
Over that
girl.
woman,
Oh,
yeah,
yes,
who was
yep.
just like, I mean, I don't really want to be Protestant, but if you want to fight over me,
Yeah.
that's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I mean, Tess, no thank you.
No,
No,
Tess
thank
is,
you.
No, thank you.
Tess is all trouble. She's poison, man.
She is.
And the thing that is so weird to me is that I understand that I guess technically it's Cheekbones' job to try and save her soul, like that's his whole raison d'etre. However, I think that it's pretty clear from day one that it's like not gonna happen. Tess has been
No.
a snake this
Yeah.
entire time, and
Yeah.
everyone
Shukri.
knows it. Even like the sweetest soul in all of Cornwall, Demelza,
Yes.
is now aware that Tess is a problem.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Can we call him Pastor Cheekbones?
Pastor
Cheekbones.
Cheekbones.
Yeah,
Yes,
mission
thank you.
accepted.
More-
we will do that.
More
Thank you.
respect, more
you.
respect for Cheekbones. But Sam and Tess, you know, thank you.
No, thank you.
No, thank you.
Sam and Rosina, I'm into it.
Yeah.
I want to
take
see
it.
more of that.
Yeah.
All right.
They're good kids.
They're
They're good kids. Good for the kids.
Our next segment is a little piece called "Who's That Guy?"
Na, 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 na.
We want to know who's stealing ore and knocking Ross out.
Who's that guy?
What's that up?
Who
What's
is
up with that?
guy? And may I say, are we embarking upon an Ormageddon?
Hey!
Sorry.
She'll be here all week, folks.
Not sorry.
Not on the couch, but in the building. She will.
Oh my god.
But yeah, is it Merceron, aka Falcon Man, the
Yeah.
Falconer?
Because why does Merceron hate Ross so much?
Yeah.
Right?
I think he just wants to continue being a jerk, and
Okay.
he loves
Yeah.
tricking people. Like I think
Yeah.
my favorite. The only reason I find him so compelling is that he just enjoys the subterfuge of having Ross come to him and ask for help and being like, yes, I understand your plight. That Ned guy, oh, he's so innocent, and then turning around and immediately being like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
how can I
That's-
kill him?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So maybe he's into it. Maybe
It
he's
could be
stealing his
him.
ore.
It could
Okay.
be George doing his usual thing. I mean, I know George's mind has sort of become ignored at this point.
Right.
But maybe it's part of a larger plot that George is doing with
Oh.
Merceron that we don't know about.
Well, and George's goon gang hasn't shown up at all this season.
So
like,
something's
we
going
don't know
on
where
there.
Tom Harry is.
Oh,
Yeah.
where is Tom Harry?
He's kind of just disappeared. So maybe
Yeah.
he's the one who's like smacking.
Smacking Ross
Ross
over the
around.
head, taking ore. And then my other thought is it might be Tess.
It could be.
There's something Tess might be doing. I mean, if she's going around being like, save my soul, preacher, past her cheekbones, then she probably has something else going on.
Probably.
You know,
Right.
that's obviously a ruse for something.
And we know that she has this like sort of funny relationship with Rosina's dad where they like forge money and like mess with Demelza together, which is like an interesting friendship.
Yeah, that is such an odd pairing right there. She's like,
Yeah.
I'm bad, you're bad, let's team up. Right?
And how did a man like that have a child like Rosina?
Right, exactly.
Another
I've had this
question.
question so many times. Like, she's so sweet
Yeah.
and genuine, and he's just a turd.
And I don't know that he always has been. Like, if I'm remembering back to a couple seasons ago when she has her like injured knee problem,
Oh, yeah.
and he's just like trying to get Dwight to come take care of her. He's like just sort of a normal like
He's being a good
minor
dad.
Concerned dad, yeah.
Yeah.
And this season he's taken a real turn for the
It
like
was-
child labor laws.
it was
He
the
lost
paper
a
money.
son, right? Didn't he lose a son?
We could not figure out if his son is the one that died in the mining collapse.
We watched it a couple times.
We
Really?
still can't
Yeah.
figure out because there are a lot of like small blonde children who look very similar on this show.
We're not good at telling children
Okay,
apart.
no, that's
Unless
fair.
they're wearing a wig that makes them look exactly like Ross.
That's Valentine.
That's Valentine.
That's true. That's
Yeah,
true.
one kid I
Okay.
know.
but I
Yes.
mean, even
Okay.
from the beginning of this season, this season seems to have hit home that the poverty is really striking him and turning him into a not great person.
Yes,
Yeah.
for sure.
But he might be stealing ore and knocking Ross out now. I would buy it.
I did not see that ending coming.
I didn't
Yeah,
either. I
that
was
was
really
shocking.
surprised.
Yes.
No.
I thought we were just gonna have Ross having a good cry at the crying cliff.
Yeah.
And instead it was the bludgeoning cliff.
And you know, there's nothing worse than being bludgeoned when you're having a good
Oh,
cry.
I know. Like, you think it's like, I'm having a nice private cry, and then suddenly someone just,
They're like, just kidding.
conks you out, and
None
you're at
for
the
you.
bottom of a well.
Every
when that
time.
happens.
Every time.
That was my weekend. So we're gonna go into our last little segment here, which is, of course, If you like this, Andrea's least favorite segment name. And this week, we have a recommendation based on one of our very favorite things that happened tonight, which was the sassiest barrister in all of England.
In all of
Ooh.
Christendom.
Yeah.
So we're recommending a great show which is on WGBH Passport, and it is called Silk. It's about some barristers who are attempting to become Queen's Counsel, which is sort of the equivalent of like world's fanciest lawyers in the UK. They're not really like the Supreme Court, but they're like big deal hotshot lawyers. So it's really fun, and I would definitely recommend it. We've loved it.
It's been great. A lot of familiar faces in it. A lot of really great performances. My personal favorite is Albert is a bit character. Well, he's like a secondary character in season 1.
Albert, of course, from Victoria.
Victoria, excuse
Yes.
me. Sorry, I assume everybody knows Albert when I say that. He doesn't have the mustache.
Unfortunately.
I can't decide if I like it or not. We'll see. But it's a really awesome show, really fun. I like it because there's a lot of empowered women, and there's also a lot of sassy barrister action, crazy cases. It's a little bit like a British drama meets SVU, somewhere in the middle, which I enjoy.
Intriguing.
There's a lot of, one of the great parts about it is we're really learning that there's a lot of stuff that we don't pronounce the same in courts.
Absolutely.
There's been a few episodes where Jack and I are like, what was that supposed to be?
And what was
what
it?
word?
Do you know? Or were they just...
I don't remember what the one is that we were laughing so hard about.
Yeah, I can't remember the specific. There's quite a few
Yeah.
where you're just like, well, we wouldn't say that here.
It's definitely worth, as with a lot of our shows, if you tend to have trouble with the accents, it's a good idea to have the captions on, because they do a nice job actually having a lot of like accent variation on Silk, which is kind of a fun
It is
thing.
fun.
Yeah.
An auditory experience?
Yes.
If you will,
A
yes.
journey.
I just might.
Love it.
Fabulous.
Well, we're now going to head into our ranking of the day. And tonight we are talking about our top 5 things that we want more of.
And I'm going to start this out.
Yes.
Just cutting right in there.
Go. Do
Because
it.
from our last discussion about Silk, what I wanted more of was that sassy barrister who had maybe 5 lines in this episode, but was all up in Ross's business and Ned's business. And he was just like, I'm here, I'm gonna win the day, I'm ready, let's go. And then they were like, that's enough out of you. And I was like, no, more sassy barrister.
Yeah.
I want him in my life. I want an episode. I want a spin-off just about sassy barrister.
It was a nice wig, too.
Yeah, he had a good wig.
It was like silky.
It was.
silky.
It was. It wasn't as funny as some of them can get.
Right.
He felt more dignified.
Maybe that's actually where he got this like new infusion of confidence.
Yes, as he was like, I have the best wig
He
in
got
the
a new
court.
wig, you know, and he was like,
Yeah. I'm
Ready?
ready.
I'm ready to rock. I'm ready to destroy lives.
Yeah.
Put on that wig.
But I mean, like, this era, sassy barrister, and it's just about him taking cases where they're like, treason, stole a farm, etc. Oars missing, conked over the head.
And he just sidles up to that podium and is like, this man is the worst man in the history of men.
Yes. Pretty much exactly his fight. I loved it.
yeah, I dig that. Yeah.
Yeah, I want that show.
Now speaking
Pay
of...
attention, masterpiece.
Yeah, Rebecca Eaton, we're coming for you. Speaking of the worst man in the history of men, hey, there's a segue for you. I don't actually think that. We're tonight going to talk about, in our number 4 spot, George being a good dad. This was a moment I really enjoyed. He had a very brief window where Valentine says to him, I have found that I'm apparently going to be getting a new mom. And George is like, no, like no one could replace your mom. Like, I'm always here for you, kid. And it's just a really sweet little shining light in a otherwise kind of dark and weird episode.
Well, I think it's also great too because their relationship has been so fraught from day one.
Yeah.
With him thinking it was Ross's kid.
Because
It probably is.
We didn't plan that.
Yeah.
No rehearsal.
There was no rehearsal for that one. Him thinking it was Ross's kid, him not knowing how to deal, him actually ranting at Valentine in the middle of his psychosis at one point, and Valentine just being like, I don't know what to tell you, dude, I'm 5.
Yeah.
What do you want? This was a great moment there where George is like, I felt that it was George's moment of being like, no, this is my child, I'm responsible for him, and I care for him regardless of whose child it actually is.
Do you think he still has his doubts?
I think, I don't know, to be honest. I think he must.
Elizabeth poisoned herself just to prove to him that, no, it's yours. And
Yeah.
also, I wonder if that will ever
come back.
Like, if that storyline will ever come back. No, because Dwight knows. He figured it out.
Yeah.
I keep wondering that too.
Yeah. I mean, that must plague you if you know that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But to be back on point, I think George must feel like he must accept it for Elizabeth at the very least.
Right. That's kind of how I think he knows, but he's just gonna bury it deep because he has to do the right thing for Elizabeth.
Just right in here.
Yeah.
Yeah. And also this little 5-year-old kid who looks up to you.
Yeah, and loves you because you're his dad.
Yeah.
To him.
Oh.
At number 3, to change the subject to a slightly lighter note, is the two Karn brothers, Sam and Drake, aka Cheekbones, and what do we call Drake?
Eyebrows.
Eyebrows, cheekbones and eyebrows.
He does have nice eyebrows.
He does.
They've got good features. the
Together,
Karns.
they're a beautiful model.
Yeah.
Separately, still beautiful. Maybe not model-esque, but,
Yeah. No, you're
they're
right.
good-looking dudes.
Yeah.
Strong features.
Yeah.
The Karn brothers in this episode I feel like after weeks, finally had a moment where they were hanging out together, doing some smithing. And I feel like, they've both had their separate stories going separate paths. We've been very Drake and Morwenna focused.
Right.
And then with Sam, it's very much church and counterfeiting, etc.
Yeah, like the bit player to Zachy and Demelza's weird schemes.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And I think it was really great because we finally had a moment where they were like brothers being brothers together. And I thought that was really sweet. And we haven't seen that in a minute. And I always like the two of them together because they balance each other out so well.
They do. Yeah.
And I thought that was really fun with the two of them.
It's nice to see them without drama.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
Because everyone's burning Drake's house down.
Yeah.
Over and over again.
Right?
Yeah.
Poor
He couldn't get a
Drake.
break. Yeah.
But I mean, of course, it ended in drama because that's when Tess was like, "Oh, hello."
Yes.
It's me in need of saving, and
Oh,
definitely
no.
not mean and terrible.
Yeah,
Oh,
We
Tess.
can all see through it.
I know.
Past your cheekbones.
Except past her cheekbones, alas.
He's got to do it for.
But up till that, it was a lovely moment of the Karn brothers smithing together, realizing Drake is now a better smith, which says something about his dedication to his craft.
He is always kink, kink,
He's
right?
gonna have one really strong arm from that.
What is he making, though? We never see him really making. I digress. That's okay.
Yeah.
Now,
Kink.
in our number 2 things we wanted more of today, we have Cecily taking charge of her situation. I think we all were really excited to see her being a little bit more proactive and trying to move things along with Jeffrey Charles. And then specifically, as the marriage is about to happen, just shutting George down in the most brutal way possible.
Brilliant.
It was incredible.
Yeah.
And the funniest thing to me is, like, I don't know until now if we knew for sure that Jeffrey Charles had those real suspicions about Valentine. Like, we had that moment, I think it was last season, where he says, well, isn't it funny how much Valentine looks like Uncle Ross? A wink, wink, wink. But I couldn't tell if he just, like, genuinely thought there was an interesting resemblance there or if he was trying to goad George. And now I think we know for sure
Yeah.
that he was trying to goad George because
Yeah.
he knows.
Yeah.
Right. He does know. No. That's really good. Yeah. Okay.
It was a nice revelation
Yeah,
for us that
no,
he
it was.
knows and he's willing to deploy that information
Right.
if he needs to, which is
Like, he really hit him where it hurts.
yes.
Yeah.
He tried to.
yes.
And then, because first, remember, he said, well, if you marry her, she's never going to love you.
like
because
my mom.
never loved you.
Burn.
It was rough. And
Yeah.
George, now we officially know George is fully functioning George because he was like, haha, don't care.
Yeah.
Like the crazies are over. George is back.
George is back.
Sassy George is back.
I've missed him. I do want more sassy George Verlaine, and that's not actually on our list, but
Yeah.
I want it.
Yeah. And he's here. He's ready.
He's good
back.
at it.
He's here and he's ready to party. He's ready to scheme, baby.
Speaking of ready to party, not really scheming, but our number 1 spot of the things we want more of is
Yes.
Demelza being like a huge force for good in her community. This was a wonderful thing to start the show off with, and then we didn't get as much of it as we wanted.
Yeah.
But her like putting the school together, that beautiful cliffside school,
Oh, yeah.
a little dangerous maybe.
I know. I was thinking that same thing. I'm like, nice view, but potentially calamitous. Yeah.
Well, you have to figure these kids all grew up on
That's
this
true.
coast.
They're all used to being on a cliff. Okay. Yeah. No, it is lovely. She's turning into quite the activist.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think what's really cool is it's a great progression for Demelza because in the first season we see her as like this poor street urchin basically,
Literally.
who's saving a dog from a dog fight, and then she becomes,
Garrick.
Garrick.
Still with us.
Still with us.
Still kicking.
How many children have died? Garrick remains.
Garrick can't get the black lung or the putrid throat.
That's what it was,
Excuse me,
putrid throat.
putrid
Yep.
throat. But So, she starts out like that, then she becomes mistress of the house, and she's sort of very boxed in by that, and then she becomes part of society, and she accepts that, and now it's sort of gotten to the point where she's like, look, I'm running the mine,
Yep.
I'm basically running the household, Ross is never here, I might as well invest in the community.
Yeah.
And so she's sort of taken care of all the finances and everything. She's like, okay, honey, you go play court in politics.
Have fun.
I'm gonna make sure, our area is nice and people are educated and not completely impoverished. Cool. I'm glad we're there.
It's very cool.
Yeah.
Really great to see.
Yeah.
So let's go and look at our comment of the day. We're gonna see what we've got. I think I'm getting the thumbs up, which tells me that we may have some exciting new posts. All right. Oh, we have a comment from previous guest Jen Dederick, who says, "Nice tricorn.
Oh, thank you, Jen. Thank you.
Your hat is winning the show," is I think our takeaway.
Oh, shucks.
Wow. Rude, Jen. Okay, that's fine.
Oh, this has got to be our comment of the day, you guys. So our friend of the show, Amanda R. Prescott, I hope we can call you that, Amanda. You know her as Kitty Despard, for Schools, has sent us some incredible cosplay pictures of herself.
Oh.
Since y'all asked about the 5 different Poldark cosplays, I've learned
my
how to
gosh,
sew on YouTube after Demelza's wedding aired on 13 in July 2015. I made Kitty this summer several versions of Demelda costumes and an Elizabeth to be edgy, working on Morwenna and Caroline. This is so cool.
I'm so excited.
I don't know if you guys can see, but
Edgy Elizabeth.
I'm gonna hold it up and we're gonna try and do some fancy camera work. This is the coolest thing ever. We love it. We're gonna retweet this as well.
Oh my goodness.
Yes.
These are fantastic.
Stunning.
Yes, Trudy, or excuse me, Amanda. Yes, Amanda.
This is the best.
I love it.
Thank you for
good.
sending
Amazing.
those in.
Thank you.
That's
Cheers to
wonderful.
you.
Yeah.
Well, that's definitely our comment of the day. I don't think we can do anything better
No,
than that. That's
no,
fantastic.
that was amazing.
amazing.
Wonderful. Well, unfortunately, it's the end of the show.
It is.
But thank you for joining us once again for Drama After Dark. Remember to get at us on the socials. We want to talk to you this week. And remember to come back next week for another special guest on Drama After Dark. And in the meantime, don't do anything Ross would do.
That's good advice.
Just saying. Thank you. Thank you.
In general. Yeah.
Just in general. I was
Yeah.
going to say wouldn't, but
Yeah.
he is how he is.
Yeah.
Have a